Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And welcome to worship. This is the day the Lord has made.
Let us rejoice and be glad in it.
It occurs to me that what we're doing is we're waiting a little longer so people show up. And I had a psychology professor say what you need to do is not reinforce waiting for everybody. So we're going to start at 9:30 next week. And that's okay if you come in a little late. We're not going to make a big deal about that. But we're going to try to start right at 9:30. And we've been kind of getting about a minute late. And if we do that for 30 days, well, we're going to be a half hour late, or 30 services. So today, we're here to worship the Lord, and thank you for coming. This is the beginning of a new church year. And before we begin with our service, we're going to light one of our Advent candles to remind us of the truths that really guide and direct us in this life and in the world to come. First of all, on Wednesday, we began our Advent services with the story of salvation. Now, you might say to yourself, if I already know the story of salvation, probably do. But there's a lot about it you do not know. So what you do know will prepare you for what you do not know as you come for the 3 Advent services that we have right before Christmas. And so we have 2 opportunities on Wednesday. One is at 12 noon here in the sanctuary, and the other is at 7 p.m. also here in the sanctuary. So come and join us for that time. Our Abundant Life groups, I think, for the most part, are going to continue to meet. At least I hope so. The one that I'm involved with on Thursdays will continue to meet on Thursday at 12 p.m. And we'll just go over a couple of devotionals for those weeks. And then we'll all start back right after the first of the year with Lesson 14 in the Great Sunday. Also want to thank those who were able to come and put up our beautiful Christmas tree. Wouldn't you say it looks pretty good in here? Yeah, it's a beautiful tree. And I know that it makes it a little hard to get out that door, but if worse comes to worse, we'll just push the tree to the side and we can get out there in the case of an emergency. And thank you for all that you did to make this happen so we could have the tree up the first week. Now, we have, I think, a couple more announcements. Bonnie, do you have anything that you wanted to share?
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody about the art auction, the silent auction coming up. And we've got flyers back here, so please take a flyer. Take 2 or 3 if you'd like. Share them with family, friends, neighbors, and give them a good idea of what we got coming up on the 10th then.
Okay, great. And I'm very proud to have my son Nathan join us today. He's come from England, from London, and he's going to be with us for almost a couple of months now. And he won't be here necessarily every Sunday, but he's going to be traveling around seeing his friends. And Nate, it's great to have you with us here today. Also, want to reintroduce you to somebody you all know. Mike, would you stand up? This is what Mike's going to be wearing in church from now on.
Looking good.
Pretty cool, huh? Tailor made. Okay. Now, Mike has stepped forward, and he, in my mind, and I think in the mind of our district and synod, he's already on the path towards becoming a lay leader, also known as a deacon. And the discernment process is really the first step before you even take the classes. And while his classes are yet to begin, Mike's going to be assisting us in the service on a regular basis. And today, he'll be assisting with Deacon Bill in communion. Of course, I'll be up there as well. And so you'll be blessed to have both of these men bring to you the body and blood of Christ. Mike, thank you. And you may sit down now if you will. Now, we have traditions in our particular church family and many other churches throughout the world that are not necessarily in the Lutheran tradition, but we have reminders of the truths and realities of a God that we do not see as easily as we see each other, but we see a shadow, as Paul says, a shadow of things to come. And one of the shadows of things to come are those things that we celebrate during our church year, especially during Advent and Lent. Today we're going to begin by lighting our first candle, and that candle is named Hope. And the hope is what God has given us that we do believe. And today in our message, we're going to take a look at what no one knows. And there's nobody on any news service, there's no pastor, there's no theologian that can predict the day or the hour that Christ will return. So we do not know what that day will be, but we know that it will be. And so we'll just take a look at that today as a good way of starting off the church year. Now, our screen master is out sick today. Both he and his wife, Mike and Kelly, will continue to pray for them. We don't have images on the screen, so everything is going to be off the bulletins today. And I had a couple of videos I wanted to show, but we'll just have to hopefully see those next week instead of this week. So we continue to pray for them. I do not have any more except that Advent, does anybody know what Advent means? Except for Pastor Dave?
Basically.
Well, it means to come, but it also means arrival. And it comes, actually our word Advent comes from a Latin word, adventus, and that means to come or arrival. It also comes from a Greek word, parousia, which means to arrive or to come as well. But they all mean the same thing. They all point to the same person, and that is the great hope of why we're here today. So as a way of communicating our thankfulness to God for who He is and what He does, even though we don't always understand Him, even though sometimes it may feel as though He's far from us, or that we struggle in certain areas, that doesn't cause God to cease to exist. It just means that man's path to God is only man's path. But that's not the path we take to God. We take the path that He gets to us, and that path is called grace. It is called perfect love. It is called absolute truth. And that is what we are here to proclaim today. So I'm going to ask you to stand now and join as we begin our service with the declaration, O Lord, open my lips.
My